Hey everybody, welcome back to another sharpness scale review. Don't know if I'm gonna get, struck by saying that again, but whatever. Welcome to another review. I just got back from the movie Evil Dead Burn, and I want to give my thoughts on it. So, I saw Evil Dead Rise when it came out in 2023, and I did hear a lot of reports of people saying that Evil Dead Burn was better than Evil Dead Rise. Do I think that answer is true? I'd say so. I'd say so. I think Evil Dead Burn did better than Evil Dead Rise. I really did like this one. This one was just out the wazoo, like almost like non-stop action. And I'm not even joking. The opening scene was like a solid 10, 15 minutes long before they even displayed the title card, which I thought was amazing. And there was just they just jump right on the gore and whatnot. Like the plot, they give you enough time to like understand the plot of what's happening. And the plot is follows we follow Alice and the family. God, I can't even get words out. But no, we follow Alice after the death of her husband, Will. He died in a car accident because he ended up hitting one of the Deadites. If you don't know what the Deadites are, they are the main antagonists of the Evil Dead franchise. He hit one of the Deadites and it killed him, and the Deadite killed him in a car accident. However, obviously, they don't die. They become Deadites themselves. So, they're trying to bury him at the funeral, and obviously his body is not dead. It's a Deadite, so the Deadite begins to, turn his dad. He attacks his dad. Will attacks his dad, and then his dad becomes a Deadite, and then it just ruins the whole thing for the family. And now Alice has to fight to survive in a household of Deadites. And I thought it was really good. There was a lot of really good action, and there was one scene specific. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's actually in the trailer. So who am I kidding? But it is a very long and very well done one, like a long take of just nonstop action. Someone's getting thrown around in the background. Alice is trying to survive. There's a lot of not monsters. The Deadites are there. They're making the noises and whatnot. It's just a really good one take. A long take, and I thought that was visually impressive. I was just like, wow, that's really cool, because it's going all around the room, yet you still see action. I'm like, that's incredible. Anyway, so Evil Dead Rise, no, not Evil Dead Burn. I will say there were some parts of this movie that made me just to go like, ooh, because there are some, like, they had humor in there, but there were some parts that just made me wonder, like, are things too easy for our main character Alice? Because like Alice with like, the Deadites are persistent. I'm sorry, Mr. Big Plot. Spoilers. Here's your spoiler warning. Well, I should have given that in the intro, but whatever. The Deadites are looking for a dagger created by the Circle of Wise Men. And the Circle of Wise Men is what Will's grandfather, who he was a part of that. Will's grandfather was a part of the Circle of Wise Men. They created a dagger that can stop the Deadites. Because once they're summoned from the Necronomicon, they can't really do much about it. You can kill them, but yeah. So the Deadites are on the hunt for the dagger, and they want to destroy it because they know that is the only thing that can, really main the thing that can stop them. So, and it's in the house, and the house that Alice was brought back to after Will's death, and now obviously it's a house full of Deadites versus her and one dagger. So, things should be like high at stake, and they were at times. It's just sometimes it felt a little too easy for Alice to survive, and that was a little bugged me a little bit. But besides that, there were some great practical effects in this movie. Like the gore was off the charts, and like there were some scenes that were really disgusting. Like I'm not gonna spoil them, but there were some scenes that like the blood just kept flowing, and I was like, oh my god. So, Evil Dead Burn, where would I put this on the sharpness scale? I'm going to give Evil Dead Burn an 8.5 out of 10. It was solid, had some really good scares. Some of the jump scares were well earned. Lots of gore, fast-paced action, which it wasn't hard to follow. It was just fast-paced action that, kept you on the edge of your seat because of, the fact that it's a gory horror film. And I'd also say really good story, a decent story. So 8.5 out of 10 for me for Evil Dead Burn. On the scale, it's 85%. So that's my review of Evil Dead Burn. Adios.